Oh relax, I have an Amazon here who traded in her bust size for her fighting prowess. Probably one of the best lines from the franchise thus far. And the episode itself was phenomenal. Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezillia, and thank you for joining me as we talk about episode 10 of the A Certain Scientific Railgun T anime series. A rollercoaster of an episode making me laugh and cry in the Dolly segment, and then making me pick my jaw off the ground after that explosive, jaw-dropping cliffhanger. So let's start off by talking about the cuteness that was young Shogoho and Dolly. These two characters were so fun to watch, and their interactions were really funny and wholesome, especially when you consider the fact that although Dolly died, her life was saved by Misaki Shogoho, as Dolly's final moments were filled with happiness. Dolly's former friend left her all alone after finding out that Dolly had all these scars all over her body. And after seeing a glimpse of those scars, I was shocked and horrified, even after we learned just how sick and twisted the scientists that were experimenting on her really were. Even if they were covering up by saying they were injecting her and implanting stuff inside of her to make her body last longer because it was deteriorating, you should not do anything like this to a poor girl like that. Come on guys, don't be that despicable. At the same time though, I do have to applaud it because, again, it makes me hate the antagonist of the show and makes me side with the characters like Misaki Shogoho, like Dolly, like Misaka. So I've got to give it applaud for that. It worked perfectly in achieving its goal of making me hate the scientists like Gensai Sekihara. However, away from that, the former friend that we get told by Dolly looks very familiar, almost identical to Matori, who we've seen throughout the other episodes, and we see at the end of this one working alongside Gensai Sekihara. And that strange liquid inside Dolly's jar reminded me so much of the substance that Matori's ability is created out of. You know, when Matori creates that clone of herself that's like really creepy looking, the colours and the substance look almost identical. So maybe there is a connection there somewhere. The flashback itself, just in general, when we see Misaki thinking back with her time with Dolly, I thought was great in developing and adding more layers to Shogoho's character. As we see what really transpired in her past and learn just how this character becomes the character we now know in the present. Plus, we see a real goofy and playful side of Misaki Shogoho in where she's trying to get that bottle in the trash can, and it's so different than what we're used to that I actually really enjoyed it. It showed a side to Shogoho's character that we hadn't seen prior to this, and is a side that I wish we could see again more often in present time. So yeah, to sum that up, it was refreshing. And seeing that she had to visit Dolly on orders at the start, and then that slowly becoming more and more of a less of an order, but more of a desire, because Shogoho and Dolly were growing closer and closer, forming a friendship, I thought was amazing. The reason as to why I think this is amazing for two characters to create a friendship like this is because it made that death scene of Dolly's more impactful at the end. I was on the edge of my seat wondering if tears were going to come because, yes, it was very quick and not drawn out and we didn't have a lot of information, but I thought it was wonderfully executed. From the point of Misaki Shogoho like saying, why do I have to do this? This is so ridiculous. And then sort of learning the reasons, to her kind of not wanting Dolly to die and then kind of, you know, telling her her name at the end. Misaki Shogoho never once told Dolly her name while they were interacting. But at the end, just before she died, she told her her name. That, to me, was very powerful, and I really enjoyed it. So, is the reason as to why Shogoho has got one of the Misaka clone sisters in her care? Could it be because she's trying to recreate Dolly by implementing and altering the Misaka clone's memories and adding the personality of Dolly and Dolly's memories into this clone. Because obviously Mitsuki Shokuho would be able to find the information that Dolly was created from the Misaka project, and that's where the foundation and where the looks and appearance comes into play. I know it's not positive, but it does also follow the theme of Shokuho just wanting to have her first friend back. And yeah, I can imagine it. Dolly probably was Mitsuki Shokuho's first ever real proper friend without having to use her ability to get someone or to make someone pretend or act like a friend. So again, it makes that whole death scene, it makes the whole reactions to Shokuho all that more impactful because it is the first connection, first bond of friendship that Shokuho has probably had in her life. So it probably did hit her quite hard. And on a side note, that female scientist is a literal B word. Not going to say it, but you know the word I'm on about. It's not a very nice word. Clearly seeing Shokuho all sad and upset about her friend passing away and in a bad state, thought, oh, I thought you wanted to know, she's dead. Who in their right mind would tell a child that's already grieving and already sad and worried, while keeping a straight face, that their friend has passed away? I mean, I know the scientists were sick and they were twisted, but come on, really? Have some humanity. The dark side of Academy City, I suppose. Now, learning about Exteria was awesome. It's a large collective of brains that greatly boosts Mitsuki Shokuho's power or ability. Originally, this had the means to give other people the ability known as mental out, which, from that perspective, that's just busted. But it was later taken over by Mitsuki herself for her personal use and personal gain. However, as powerful as this makes Mitsuki Shokuho, when she uses this to enhance her mental out ability, it looks to cause some serious amounts of pain on her body. After she uses it, we see Mitsuki not looking so good. I mean, she does part the traffic like she's Moses parting the Red Sea, but at the same time, yeah, I guess with great power comes even greater drawback, or something similar to that. Now, we learned that the scientists in this episode were working on Mitsuki Shokuho when she was younger so that they can create Exteria. They originally tried to use Dolly's cloning sort of method and mechanic to kind of create a clone of people with high authority and high power within Academy City or just the world in general. However, they then later saw the potential in controlling them instead, hence to why they created Exteria and wanted to gift people mental out so that they can then use and basically people in higher power to their advantage and their uses, I suppose. And when they explained how Gensai Sekihara took control over Exteria and gained the ability of mental out and kind of referred to the previous arcs, like the level upper arc, I was shocked, but in a good way, as I love it when any anime series ties in old stories or old arcs into the current situation that's unfolding, because it shows good consistency and creative long storytelling. So from this point of view, I really did enjoy that, and I just had to give this episode a big clap just for that in of itself. This episode was probably one of the best Railgun episodes that we've had from the entirety of Railgun so far. Maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there in the collective. Now then, the big reveal that was at the end, the jaw-dropping conclusion, the level 6 Misaka design looks amazing. And the phrase that they accompany this design with, when Gensai Sekihara says, "Can she reach the divine level of level 6?" That was an excellent choice of words, as the form itself, the design, looks divine, looks godlike, and it almost reminds me of Kronos, the god of time from Tales of Extelia 2, which is one of my favourite games. So one of my favourite characters from Railgun, or possibly my favourite character, mixed with a villain from one of my favourite games. Awesome. But I know Misaka's not going to have time control. Hope not anyway, that would be too broken. Don't know how that would work with electricity. You control electricity so bad you... I don't know. Yeah, moving on. So I can't wait to see this form in action and how strong Misaka has finally gotten. That being said, the Misaka network now has a virus implemented into it, and being, as it were, we did see Accelerator and Last Order. However, because Accelerator is heavily reliant on the Misaka network for basic function, he's not going to be able to do anything in this arc to help, cure the Misaka network and save all the sisters and Last Order. Sorry, Accelerator, you're going to have to sit this one out. But fear not, because Kamijo Toma is in the area, and it's about to steal the show. Hopefully, anyway. I'm not too keen on the idea of Toma saving the day in Railgun, because he has his own main sort of story in Index, but I guess if they execute it well, then I'm not going to be too upset, because Toma is a brilliant character, and we can help further that chemistry between Misaka and Toma and everything else going on around it. So yeah, hopefully it works out nicely. Overall, I love this episode, probably one of my favourite episodes so far, and it is my favourite episode of this season, given the emotional and character building aspects that were involved in this episode. I loved it from start to finish. The animation was great, and the music and sound effects were all really good and added a more of an effective layer of not storytelling as such, but just enjoyment to the episode itself. So those are my thoughts on this episode, and hopefully you've enjoyed this review. If you have, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Index related content in the future. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What did you think of this episode, and do you agree with anything that I've said in the video? If not, let me know and we'll have a conversation down in the comments in there. It's a good time. Try it. You might like it. Anyway, I hope you'll have an amazing time. Have a good Christmas holiday if you're celebrating them, and I'll see you next time. Alligator matane. Goodbye.